and there's too many of these to be unconcerned. People are panicked. They pop up over my native state first of Connecticut, oddly enough. These are not like hobbyist-like little drones. These are the size of a car or a large, van. So there's something clearly going on. The president, I think, hit this on the nose. And you're right, Carl. He knows. And they know, but they're just not telling us. It's just another one of the long line of lies that this administration has put forward. Remember this one? No one in my family has gotten any money from China. Not my son, no one in my family, including me. Joe Biden said that.
Right.
Yet last week we see him pardoning Chinese nationals who have a giant stash of kiddie porn. Yeah. Explain that one to me.
But the other thing, Roger, listen to what he said about his presidency. Roll this.
We run a campaign that's basically scandal-free. It's hard to do in American politics these days.
Well, then why the hell did you give your son a blanket pardon for like 10 years?
Yeah, the whole thing makes no sense. And interestingly enough, that pardon covers the period in which Joe was vice president. That would be a period under which due to this recent Supreme Court ruling, he would have no immunity if he indeed took the payoffs that it appears the House Republican Oversight Committee has pretty much at this point documented that he took. Payments from China, payments from Russia, payments from Romania, payments from Ukraine. I mean, this is deeply disturbing, but that's why he fashioned the pardon the way he did.
I think so. I mean, essentially pardoning his co-conspirator, maybe. The other thing, too, is while we're talking about pardons, Bernie Thompson, remember, he was the chairman of the J6 committee. He was on CNN and he was asked if he would accept a preemptive pardon. Roll this real quick.
Well, you know, the president, it's his prerogative. If he offers it to me or other members of the committee, I would accept it, but it's his choice.
Guy is so full of it, okay? He knows he did something wrong. He knows he deleted evidence with Liz Cheney, and now he knows that Trump might try to go after him for that. And he's like, oh, yeah, maybe accept, whatever.
Yeah, it's actually worse than that. So before he was named chairman of the phony January 6th investigation, he had filed a civil suit against Donald Trump, accusing him of endangering the lives of Americans, which, of course, he did not do. So therefore, how can he chair an objective, fact-finding committee? As far as Liz Cheney is concerned, we know now that she suborned perjury. She specifically went around the attorney for one of the witnesses, Cassidy Hutchinson, who perjured herself when she said that President Trump instructed Mark Meadows, chief of staff, to call Roger Stone and General Michael Flynn on January 5th to find out what would happen on the 6th. Carl, I can tell you indisputably, no such phone call ever took place. I've never talked to Mark Meadows, or I've never communicated with him. I think I met him once in a green room at a rival network years ago when he was a congressman. So she suborned perjury, and she should be prosecuted for it. I think the January 6th committee needs a special committee by the House to investigate what exactly happened, because the whole thing was a made-for-television hoax.
I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'd love to see special counsel Matt Gaetz investigating the J6. That's just me. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
I love that idea, and here's why. We know that based on their arguments that he would not require Senate confirmation for that position. They argue that Jack Smith didn't. They argue that Robert Mueller didn't. Therefore, they can't now come back and say that Matt Gaetz can't hold that position. I think Matt Gaetz, who's a brilliant guy and a very good lawyer, would be great in that role to get at the facts for the American.
I want to get to this real quick. Okay, CNN is the CNN sucks. All right, so this is today. CNN went out. They championed this story about freeing some poor Syrian prisoner, like they're a bunch of heroes. But it turned out the guy they freed was an Assad regime torturer. And now they're like, oh, oops, nobody verified this. They just ran with this story and patted themselves on the back like they were some conquering heroes.
Carl, I don't get my news from CNN for the same reason I don't eat out of the toilet. There's literally nothing they report that's true. This is just another example of them promulgating lies. It's why Newsmax's viewers are up and the CNN viewers are literally in the toilet, followed closely by MSNBC. People are not buying these fake narratives anymore. They're very interested in the truth.
Right, and if they weren't for airport television sets being tuned into them, they would have none at all. But Roger Stone, always a pleasure, my man.
Thank you.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.